I'm Oyen, and we have Geraldine, who is currently a client developer at Global. You work in client development. It is a phrase we hear a lot, but what does that mean?
So client development means it's really my role to make sure that the client is first in the advertising process. So essentially it's my role to service the clients, make sure that they know all about the global proposition. So obviously now at Global we sell radio, we sell outdoors, we sell influencers. So make sure the client is fully knowledgeable of all the different bits of the business, and also by servicing them, making sure, finding out what briefs they've got coming up, what their year is looking like in terms of their products, where their money is going to be spent more importantly, and really it's my job to find out where that money is going to be spent and make sure it's spent with Global. So it's kind of, my job is really a servicing job, and it's one of making sure that Global as a business is providing that client with the best amount of service and the best amount of knowledge of the products, that when they're actually wanting to spend money, they think of Global first and foremost, and we win that business.
So does branded content now mean that every company has to be a media company?
Okay, that's quite a hard question, but I think I would say yes. I think it's fair to say branded content is the currency of the modern media marketplace. Video content is kind of king, and I think there's some stats, something like 80% of all searches on Google will be via video. So I think if you're a media company in today's market, you have to recognise that you're going to need some kind of branded content.
Yeah.
And a lot of that will be video content. A lot of that actually also now is we're seeing a real growth in podcasts. A lot of that is also going to be audio content. But I think any brand today has to recognise that if they want to engage with their consumers, they're going to need to create some kind of branded content. And that can go in scale. So that can be anything from something really small like an Instagram post to something massive like, some of the John Lewis and Coca-Cola campaigns. But I think, every media company now needs to recognise that they need to engage with their consumer, and the way to do that is really branded content is the way that it's done now. It's kind of the new currency.
So please tell us about your most exciting project and how it worked for the client.
Actually, I suppose my most exciting project is one that I'm currently working on at TalkTalk.
Okay.
So TalkTalk have never worked with Global before, and they're up against the likes. So TalkTalk, if you don't know, they are in broadband.
I've got TalkTalk as my provider.
So they're a broadband provider as well, but they are in a really competitive market with Sky and with Virgin, who are far bigger companies and who have far bigger marketing spend. So they came to us and how can we shout about our products when we don't actually have any high street presence? That's a big issue for them. They don't have as many bricks and mortar shops. So we came up with a really good idea, which was, okay, well, why don't you brand the Heart Breakfast Show? That's with Global's Heart Breakfast Shows with Jamie Theakston and Amanda Holden. So obviously two really big personalities. You'll get constant branding across the breakfast show, across the day in the morning. So you're constantly in consumers' homes, sponsoring the content, which is really strong. Because Amanda and Jamie are part of the Global umbrella, they also are our influencers. So they would do a lot of influencer work as well. So it was a campaign that kind of worked across lots of levels. So you had the content that we were creating in terms of radio content, in terms of the breakfast show, which was branded TalkTalk. But then also you had the kind of richer native content in the terms of the influencer work that we could get.
Okay, so a bit of a win-win as well.
Yeah, Jamie to do. And so what we've actually done is been able to create mini spikes in their campaign. So around key periods across the summer, so around key holidays, we've actually done a consumer-facing campaign where we've asked consumers to share with us their holiday snaps on Instagram and use some of the kind of emojis to create an Instagram filter.
Okay.
And then that content is then put out across TalkTalk's website and Heart's website. So I think that's really exciting. That is a deal that we've had for the last year. It's looking to move into year 2. And in the second year, potentially, we're looking to grow it with adding some outdoor elements now that Global has bought an outdoor business and it's under the same umbrella. It means that when we go to a client, makes my job really exciting because now I can offer them more
Yeah,
things.
more to offer for the
So
client.
it's not just radio, it's not just DAX. I can now offer outdoor, and I can offer influencers. We can offer experiential. So this year, when we go back to Talk, you know, we can take a campaign from being like a £2 million campaign to a £3.5 million, £4 million campaign. So
that sounds good. That sounds good. So, what is the best piece of branded content you have seen anywhere, and why?
God, I had to think about this one. As
we know you did.
As we know. But the best piece of branded content actually is a campaign with Dove that is running at the moment and will be running for a while. It's, look it up anyone, it's called Dove Girl Gaze. And it's really key for two reasons. One, because I think it hits this social responsibility tick box. Like nowadays, if you are a brand, you have to be doing more than just selling your products to consumers. Like, we are smart people as consumers, and we want our brands to give us more, and we want our brands to be responsible. So for me, Dove is more than just selling like wash products.
Yeah, bar of soap.
Yeah, with soap. So what they've done is they've partnered with a company called Getty Images. I don't know if you know who they are. So Getty Images. So if you put into Google baby with rattle, all those images that you see that come up under the image section, probably about 50% of them come from Getty. So they do stock imagery that you can use in presentations. So all their whole job is to do images and photos that you can then take into presentations. So what Dove have done, which is really clever, is to work with Getty to reframe images of women, because I think when you put in images of women, it tends to be the same type of looking girl. And actually what Dove have said is, we want to show real women. So they're showing disabled women, women with alopecia, women with skin disorders, women of different sizes, women of different races and colours. And I think that's really important in today's multicultural environment, needed, that when you're doing advertising campaigns, as we all know, it has to represent society. And actually, up until then, Getty Images didn't. They had a few images of women with colour, a few images of, you know, transgender, disabled, what you'd call, I suppose, marginalised people in society. They only had a few of. Whereas working with Dove, and Dove is a female brand, they were like, let's redefine what this branded content. And what's really smart also is, you know, Getty, working with Getty, I think is really unique, as opposed to maybe putting something on their social platforms.
Oh, well, thank you very much for coming on School Days. It was lovely having you.